else is huge in Korea? Drinking culture.
Right.
Those guys are alcoholics.
Right. And is there other prevalence of like other drug use, marijuana, opiates, or
So I think recently, like methamphetamine use is going up.
it
But
makes sense with the culture that you of work you
right,
described.
right. But compared to the US, it's nothing. I mean, here we have visible drug use right
Right.
out in the streets, right? But in South Korea, it's not visible. I guess it's more
Mhm.
hidden. So maybe that's a bad thing if you think about it that way. But the main substance of enjoyment in Korea is gonna be alcohol. Actually, there's this brand called Jinro, which is they make a drink called soju, right? It's a spirit, and it's actually the world's number one selling spirit. And
Oh, okay.
Jinro as a company is the world's number one selling liquor company in the world. They actually double the sales of their number two competitor in the world. So that's how much like drinking is embedded into the Korean culture.
Okay.
Everywhere you go, you like especially at family events,
Mhm.
there's always a couple of bottles of soju at the very,
Right.
very least. And this is actually like kind of fading away a little bit, but drinking as part of working culture has always been like really big, almost mandatory.
Interesting.
So if you're part of a company, and if you guys are having a company outing, which happen like very, very frequently, like once a week,
Mhm.
they consider it like team building. But
Okay.
essentially it's like it almost sounds like hazing, man. You'll go out, your bosses will pour you drinks, and you can't say no, you have to drink it.
Wow.
And you like end up becoming shit-faced, and you
Right.
just feel like crap the next day.
Mhm.
And the younger people right now are pushing back against that. It's
Okay.
like who wants to spend time with your boss,
Right.
like you're already working like incredibly long hours, like you want to
Mhm.
go home, do other stuff. But yeah, traditionally speaking, there's been a lot of social pressure for you to go out to these meetings, and you had to do it if you wanted to like advance in your
Right.
company. And it was just like if you didn't partake, you were just looked at as somebody who wasn't with the company, not
Right.
part of the team. So a lot of shaming built around it. And to me, as an American looking at it, it almost sounds like hazing.
Very much so. But and then I would also say like I wonder if in that culture of like that crazy work yourself to death, those long hours, it almost seems like the whole like work hard, play hard kind of thing that we of course can relate to here in America. And there's of course hey, I used to work in the insurance and finance industry, and I actually can kind of relate to that. I actually, I no longer consume alcohol, but back then I think it actually would have been harder for me um, to function in my job if I didn't partake in the drinking habits. It was, hey, go to happy hour, go network with people, try to meet people and build business connections because I was in kind of like a sales role at that time. So I could definitely relate to that.
Right. So I guess it makes sense that for patients suffering alcohol use disorders,
Hmm.
one of the biggest things that they can do to help themselves is to change that environment, get them out of environments where you're around alcohol, get away from people that's gonna subject you or remind you of alcohol use. So I
Hmm.
guess all that stuff ties in.